Hello and welcome to the Pro Detailer podcast, the first of 2024. And we are in a different venue all over again. Last time it was in my front room, and now it's in Ian's front room. And we've got a rather prettier vista. He has, I'm just going to paint you a picture here. He's got a nice suburban garden with a little shed at the end that looks structurally questionable. And roaming with cats. There's actually a pride of mini lions outside, some of which he has to take some responsibility for. But it's a very different environment for compared to previous one, which was basically between junctions 15 and 16 of the M4, about 30 foot away from the main road.
The thing is, you don't want a shed to look too good in the garden, otherwise it's conspicuous and people start looking when you bring the manacles out of it. It's also convenient for drainage points as well.
It's when the neighbours come a knocking.
From the inside.
Yes. Get your doses right, that's the key. But anyway, welcome back, everybody. It's been a sort of a long time. Our first cast of 2024 today is, I'm going to say March 7th.
God, has it been 4 months since 18 came out?
Yeah.
Because did we do one for New Year?
I think we did, because
yeah,
that's
we
one
did
we
one.
recorded.
Yeah, just on off. That was in the front room with the dogs.
Yeah. I think that was late 23, though. I might be completely wrong.
Late 23, early 24.
Yeah, basically a blur. But yeah, so we thought we would do a sort of mini cast where we talk to ourselves before we commence, a series with guests and stuff, which we're already working on for this year.
Yes, this isn't the actual content; it's just the content you're going to have to put up with for now.
And we've got various updates and stuff, but the industry is waking up today. In fact, Sonax, I believe, are holding an event at Haynes, the Haynes Museum down in the southwest. I think a week or two ago, Angel Wax had a open day as well for their kind of top detailers and trade and distributors and stuff like that. So
I've never been to the Haynes Museum.
It's nice. It's a nice
because you went there for Soft 99 Kijitsu, wasn't it?
I did. That's where I randomly for being there and taking photos. I got a certificate to prove that I could apply Kijitsu, but I got the same by Rupert.
And have you?
I actually I think I have applied it to some wheels.
Oh no, yeah, we did it on the wheels in. Was it 11? Something like that.
Oh, a long time ago.
Yeah, no, because it was on the A5 before that.
Your
broke.
car, yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, we have collected quite a few certificates for essentially just being there and taking photos at various of these events.
Because you got the Roops one at the iBox, didn't you?
Yeah, that was a long time ago. And I can't think of another detailer training event in the UK where they had, I think, literally 60 plus people in one place, and they bought the whole training team for that one from all over Europe, as well as Jason Rose from America. But yeah, there's lots happening. Wax Stock is confirmed for this year, which is great to see. It's down to a one-day event, we believe.
Yes.
So the two-dayer was very much a 10th anniversary special, which I quite liked, I have to admit.
And the company's changed as well.
Yes, I do. We had a little look on the old company's house. And
yeah, I don't know why that came up, but yeah, it looks like
Summit Else.
I don't want to comment to see if it is what I think it is, but yeah, it's owned by somebody. But I don't know. I don't want to guess at what's going on behind the scenes.
No, I'm sure it's procedural.
I haven't spoken to Dom for ages.
No,
he's married, isn't he?
No, he's got married.
Oh, no, he's got married.
He's got a stag.
Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it for next month.
Yes. He invited me along to stag do, and I happened to be away, and I said, look, really sorry. And he said, well, it's probably not going to be your bag anyway. I was like, yeah, you're right. It doesn't involve Radio 4 and tea, then it's kind of a little bit too racy for me. So things are ticking along. We have plans for this year, and they're a little different from normal years. We've been doing the mag since 2015, which I was going to say we weren't in our 30s, but we were in our 30s.
I still am in my 30s. I'd just like to point out.
Just hanging on.
By the skin of my teeth. By the skin of a month and a bit, I'm still in my 30s.
Oh, crikey. It's a big 4 this year.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Hang on, crap. I'm only a year young. I thought I was 38. Yes, I am 30. That's fine. Okay, so you're going to turn 40.
86?
I'm 85. So I'm going to turn...
So you'll be turning 40 next year?
Yes. Yeah, good. Phew. Okay. That kind of complies with what I was hoping for.
I mean, you might be turning 40 next year. It might not last that long.
No, it's true.
Never know your luck.
Oh, sad but true. So we this year are taking a slight change of direction for lots of reasons. Everything from kind of
personal life choices,
life choices mostly.
The operation,
God. Well, if God or / the weather / climate change / getting very soggy and everything basically being destroyed and causing trouble.
Yeah, because you got the last year has been really tricky.
Yes.
From the flood in the office which has also kicked our insurance up a notch, which they...
£5,000 excess now.
Yeah, which isn't really sustainable in there.
No, and so lots of things that are making life terribly difficult, plus a desire to move away from the floodplain /M4, and a kind of reinvention of different things outside of our detailing worlds, which is very small, really. Mostly it's me, just rusty Subarus and battles with 5 dogs, a cat and 5 chickens.
Is that all part of your detailing?
Yeah. No, that's the bit outside of it. So the plan is to have a brief hiatus in terms of the magazine this year. So issue 19 and 20, which would normally be falling in this year, will be pushed forward or pushed backward. Pushed backward? Yes, pushed backward to 2025.
Yes.
Meantime, we have various other things that are detailing related that are happening. You may remember that we published a book called Hand Wash Only, An Introduction to Car Care and Detailing. And that was, was that 2022? Yeah. And we've done a couple of print ones, so that's what's confusing about that. Mm-hmm. And that's been great, but that is very much a beginner's guide. And
it was always meant to be the first in a series.
Precisely. And you might notice if you have a copy of the book, it may or may not have the number 1 printed on the spine. If it does have number 1, then it's the second print run. If it doesn't have the number 1, it's the first print run. And if you don't have the book, buy it. It's on Amazon. It's good value.
We weren't so confident with the first print run, were we?
Yeah. Though there is a review on Amazon, there are a couple of reviews which are hilarious because they sort of say along the lines of, really basic book. I've been doing this 30 years and it didn't teach me anything. I'm sitting there going, well, it is a beginner's guide, not a guide for 30-year veterans.
And chances are, if you've been doing it for 30 years, it will teach you stuff.
It will if you read the words. I think some of them just looking at the pictures. But either way, it's been really well received. Loads of people are saying really nice things about it, which are very much appreciated. If you are one of them, thank you. If
not, sod off.
or leave a review would be my more diplomatic response.
No, because if they're not being nice, okay, yeah.
Yeah, see what I mean.
I'm still in my coffees.
Yeah, so anyway, long story short, we're doing another one, and this one is not for beginners. This is the sort of book that we would strongly advise / insist that you read the first book before you get onto the second book.
It's part of the process.
Yeah, and if you were to pick it up as a complete newbie, it would probably be a little bit overpowering and borderline dull because it is super. Can we say anal on podcast?
You can say, you just can't do it.
Okay. It's super anal, as in we are going into the minutiae of basically exterior surface correction. We have plans for other books in due course if we make it through to 40. But this particular one is going to be primarily paint correction, but also any other exterior and some interior surfaces. But in such detail, it will hopefully blow your socks off if you're kind of person who has your socks blown off by, buffing paint.
Or indeed wears socks.
Yeah, if you're a crocker, then you'll probably be... Actually, you'll probably like this book
Need not apply. Yeah, I mean, you say it's going to be for only enthusiasts, but we are going to have it from very base knowledge. So it's going to build up from the absolute basics and flow over the entire book and try and cover all areas of it. So it's not for if you're only interested in washing your car. It's for those who are interested in doing a little bit of their own correction, learning some of those techniques, investing in polisher, and just generally improving their overall and detailing game. Doing
it with a thorough knowledge rather than just hey, let's have a squirt of this and rub of that and see what happens.
Yes, I mean, we say read the first one first, because that's how things go. That's an order. Mm-hmm. It starts with 1 and goes to 2. I won't bore you with the rest of the details. But also, a lot of the things in Hand Wash Only are about the preparation steps. Now, we'll cover a bit of the preparation in a slightly different way at the start of the next book. But all of the techniques that are in Hand Wash Only, you're going to have to do anyway, because you have to have a clean car. You can't just polish the mud off.
Well, I mean, you can. It just won't work very well.
Well, it will only down to a shiny steel surface. If you've got DeLorean, do what you like. Just do it in straight lines.
So it's still going to be very keen bean. We'll be looking at the as you say, the fundamentals of everything from the different, not just the different types of pad. Hey, you can have a wool pad and you can have a foam pad, but we'll be talking about reticulation. We'll be talking about open and closed cells. We'll be talking about the different types of real and synthetic. We'll be talking about smats and dats until you're blue in the face.
Bit on microfiber technology and so, and we've got some actual experts and people who know what they're doing, which is another departure for us for a book. People who actually know what they're talking about are going to be having genuine input into this. So it's not just going to be us doing research and writing things down on the back of a fag packet, which unfortunately we can't do anymore
because neither of us smoke because life is so boring. But the big deal with it would be very keen bean, and I think in terms of a need, what I've noticed now is more people, normal people, probably not you, know about detailing, which is great. It's what I've been personally striving for since 2012, and all the rest is great. Now you don't have to tell people what you're doing. But the problem is that no longer can you start talking about a clay bar in a conversation over a pint in a public house and sort of feel like you're on the knowledge high end because other people are starting to know stuff. So if you want to remain that person in the pub who knows more than anyone else in the pub about car detailing, you're going to have to up your game, and this book is hopefully going to help you.
Otherwise, people are going to try to be friends with you again.
Yes.
And nobody wants that.
Trust me, nobody wants that. That's the kind of the big news is that there's going to be a little pause in the mag. On a semantics sort of technical point of view, if you are a subscriber, we will be in touch with you through the internet. Via email probably, and we'll sort out all the kind of the semantics of the payments and the subscriptions and cancel those all off for you. So fear not. But the book will obviously be available when it's available, and it would be lovely if you would like to partake in it. But I think more importantly at this stage would be a little bit of feedback from you, what you want to know about. Dig deep into your detailing soul and think, what is the really pedantic stuff that you would like to read reams of information and see some up-close photos. We have got, for example, magnified photos, in some cases actually from an electron microscope, of compounds and how they actually look. That's just one example of the kind of depth of stuff we'll be doing. But if there's something that you've always wanted to know, but perhaps been a little bit embarrassed to ask about, obviously detailing-wise, not anything about the rash, then do ping us a message.
Yeah, you can email us to, I've got an idea for the bit in the book that I want you to write about, so here's the idea now, at pro-detailer.co.uk.
Okay, or just editor at pro-detailer.co.uk.
No, I'm going to make that email address now.
Oh, you're going to make that email address?
Yeah.
Okay. We're not giving across a clear message. Or our Facebook page, that can also work. Not Instagram, because that confuses me. Half the stuff we get on Instagram is very strange.
Yeah, you can do a duet with us on TikTok as well.
He's joking. Just keep that point of information. So yeah, and in terms of the rest of the year, we're hoping there'll be more releases. There's still, the industry seems to be kind of expanding. It's doing an accordion, expanding and contracting with
with really odd noises and a slight French whiff in the air.
Well, we're seeing this kind of, and I don't want to bring up the C word. I've already done obviously the A word, but the changes the industry's had is that there was lots of kind of pent up stuff ready to come out post COVID, and then after COVID there was a bit of a lull because I was like, oh crikey, and so the momentum's was lost slightly. But I feel that this year it's going to come back a bit more, and given SEMA and the amount of releases at SEMA, I think things are kind of going to restabilise in 2024.
Yeah, well, also I was over at MTE earlier this year, and there's just so much going on out in the States that, like I was saying, if 10% of the new stuff that we see over there makes it over to these shores, there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
And one thing that was fascinating, because I didn't go, I had to go to Basingstoke.
But you didn't have to suffer 18 hours worth of BA long haul.
Did they get lost? Florida's not that far away.
I don't know if I can say this, but fuck BA. Fuck them right in the anal.
Remember that excess I was telling you about on the insurance. But anyway, the point was that when you came back, you were buzzing, and you very much.
That's because I had no sleep for 18 hours.
Yeah. But no, you were pointing about how the American attitude is so kind of refreshing and energetic and noisy.
They love a trade show.
Yeah, they do love a trade show.
As in, there's actually genuine sort of destination excitement for them. There is a little bit of it with Wax Top, obviously, but it's never really. you don't feel that that's something that's being pushed out. You can't get excited about things in this country. It's not the way things are done.
Yeah, we're British.
No, exactly.
Partly.
But over there, it's more ingrained in the culture, I think, and it's a shame because it does make the entire event a lot better if everybody's
enthusiastic,
being very enthusiastic.
How long could you cope? How long that show in terms of, because the flip side of such enthusiasm is sometimes you get people a little overexcited, making a lot of noise, who frankly you just want to punch after a bit. I normally last about 5 minutes.
At most shows.
I don't know. I went to one up at the Birmingham NEC, non-detailing related, and everybody was. I mean, it was for undertakers, to be fair, so everybody was quite mournful anyway. I went to the wrong show. That wasn't actually what I was going to, but I ended up there. Long story, doesn't matter. But either way, is that kind of that overly optimistic cheeriness.
I mean, that's quite a difficult show to put together. It's a real undertaking.
Hey!
Oh, not that one. That's supposed to be tumbleweed.
Oh, God, it's been not long enough.
There we go.
But we're literally trying to remember how to use this roadcaster thingamajiggles, which buttons do what. But enough about
that. One mutes you.
That's the important one. But anyway, so the thing is that in America, they've got this dynamism, enthusiasm, and just sort of hungry noise thing, which I would be great if we got over here. And I see a bit of it, to be honest, in things like the TCB group and stuff like that. They're kind of a relaunch of the enthusiasm that early detailing world had when, back in the early noughties and mid-noughties, really, when certainly I had more hair and Peugeots.
Yeah, I mean, if we could have all this enthusiasm with about 50% of the high fives, that's kind of the metric for me.
Yeah, or none of the high fives.
Well, it's more just like doing high five instead of high tens. That's maths.
Yeah, still not my bag. Anybody tries to high five me, I will punch you. But all the same, I think that's it's just something to aspire to.
Yeah, and there are sort of other events and everything going on around the UK that we'll be playing around with.
Mm-hmm. In fact, yes, of course, we've got UK Garage and Body Shop.
Yeah, Garage and Body Shop show. It's the little brother to Automechanica, run essentially by the same people, but a slightly smaller show, a bit more intimate. That's going to have an entire detailing zone this year, which would be cool. Yeah,
absolutely. For some reason, when I hear the words UK Garage and Body Shop, it makes it sound like it's about rap music or something like that.
UK Garage.
Yeah.
Cottage and shed instead of house and garage. It's the country version.
Cottaging.
No, not cottaging shed. That's what I've got out the back there with the manacles.
I can see and hear the screams. And also, of course, Automechanica itself, the granddaddy in Frankfurt, is happening this year, which happens every other year, sort of share space with the UK alternately. There we go. Forgotten even how to talk. This is a problem spending too long with cats. So that would be fun. We may or may not be out there. I don't know.
If we do go there, we're not going to get to our hotel down the side of the Autobahn this time. That was that one, wasn't it?
It was the one where I decided to go all Ray Mears and navigate ourselves there rather than take, it turned out, the 3-minute
shuttle bus
that went around, and we ended up on the side of the Autobahn in the rain with about 100 kilos worth of carrying gear.
That's the past now. That wouldn't happen again. Yeah. So yes, we may go out to Automechanica. We've got Spring Barbecue coming up at the Academy.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
What's the open date? That's the 27th of April. You can sign up and come along. It's completely free. There's going to be about 9 or 10 other companies there as well doing little demonstrations. I think we've got some dry ice blasting demonstrations there. We're going to have some leather repair stuff from a couple of different companies, perhaps.
We've got Flex and Rupes there.
Flex and Rupes are both going to be there. Obviously, Flex are just about to launch their updated pads and polishes, so you can try those out there. And Rupes have released the HLR 15 and 21.
Yeah, so they're landing
those
now.
will both be there as well.
Yeah, there's been a lot of hype out those, and I think rightly so, because they are pretty impressive.
Yeah, and actually that's quite a good opportunity to follow up, because remember when we did the review, the HLR 15 was very vibratey. And they said that's down to the body. Now, I've tried the actual release one now, because they obviously all landed a couple of weeks ago in the UK, and I've got one in the unit, and it is much improved. It's not aggressively vibration. There is still vibration there. You're going to have vibration off of any power tool, but it's much more manageable now. The grips are still too grippy, but that's a me thing.
That's a you problem.
But no, it's they've delivered on what they said they were going to do, which is update the body so that the vibrations went, and
Yeah. No, well,
Whilst I'm not going to be the person balancing a pound coin on it, it's good.
yeah. I mean, it was fascinating since 18 came out, where obviously we were kind of one of the first, well, we are the only print publication really, but the one to start talking about it early on. We got messages from all over the world wanting to know how they can get their hands on it. It's like, it'll come out in due course. Well, now it has come out, so that's good.
Stop emailing us.
And in terms of other kit coming out, there is various whisperings. I can't remember. There are some that we've signed NDAs for, so we can't talk about, and I just can't remember which is which. So we're going to have to settle on that. But one thing that has come out is Nanolex Josh popped over a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, I saw the green detailing range.
Yes, it's called Green X, I think.
Green Alex.
Green Alex. Really, really cool. They've been talking about it for years, to be honest. Andreas, I was going to say their chef, but he's technically their chemist, but then he's also really a biologist. So it's kind of all over the place. But anyway, he's been working on it for a long, long time. And their aim was to create a range of products that was as good, if not better, than conventional detailing and cleaning and sort of general products, but which are kinder to the user and the environment, and just don't contain the same nasties. I mean, they're not quite drinkable yet, but if you did drink...
they are.
Well, they are. I was about to say, if you did drink them, it might still kill you, but it would do so slowly, I suspect. So,
and you wouldn't damage the environment as much when you decomposed.
Exactly.
And that's the important thing.
But just for reference, as I pointed out about our insurance access, do not drink them. That's my job. And also a number of new coatings. And one thing is Cerebide, which I always say wrong. Is that the right way? Mm-hmm. That's right. Oh, wow.
That's how I pronounce it as well.
Okay, so we could all be wrong. They brought out Cerebide HD, which is like a hardcore version.
Because it's pro only, isn't it?
I think it is.
Yeah, the black tin.
Yeah. So we'll give that a whirl. And also a whole range of other coatings for trim and I want to say glass, but I can't remember. And there's another one.
There's a leather one as well.
A leather one. And there's one that does everything, which was slightly difficult to kind of understand because they do all these coatings for the different surfaces. And then they said, alternatively, just have this one. I think it's called AQX or something like that. This is really poorly researched, isn't it? But anyway.
It's almost like we didn't think about this before we started doing the podcast, isn't it?
So there are lots of bits and bobs happening.
There's about 7 of the green X range, isn't there?
Yes. There are indeed.
So it's not every single product has a green version of it, but there's there isn't.
There isn't. Yeah, no. There's a pre-wash. There's a shampoo.
Yeah.
There's a quick detailer.
It's an APC.
There might be an APC. So yeah.
Snowfire? I think so.
Maybe. Yeah. I've got them at home.
How many are we up to? Is that 6 or 7?
I did 6 or 7. So they've got a decent little starter range, and I think there's an interior cleaner as well. But we don't be putting out false information here. But yeah, so I'm sure that range will grow, and I just want to applaud it in the same way that we applauded the likes of Mile Deep and Gloss Fuel and various others who are going above and beyond to, well, not really above and beyond. They're doing their bit, which they should do, and everybody else should do, but most of them aren't. There we go.
So really, we just want to tell everyone else, stop being shit. Be responsible people.
Yeah, well, yes, the risk we get a bit too Greta. But yeah, so that's a good sign, and I think, as I say,
how dare you?
Pats on back.
You've stolen my childhood.
Okay, as I told you before, the excess.
We don't want to have insurance by the time this comes out.
5,000 pounds. That's 10 Subarus. So yeah, that's where we're at, and that's what 2024 holds for us. We've got some ideas in the pipeline for future podcasts and people, and we're in the process of organising that. It won't be imminent, but it won't be too far off. Yeah, we're
detailed directory that's coming.
Oh, that's a very important thing.
We're involved.
Yeah.
So I've gone back to leaning on my hands, so it would involve effort to turn my face back.
Fair dues. So detailing directory is something we kind of are involved with, but it was released back in December.
Soft released, yeah.
Soft released December.
Yeah, to PVD members originally, and it's open up for sign-ups and everything like that, but we haven't hard launched it to the general public yet because we were just trying to iron out our last few creases because, being in the detailing industry, we're a little bit anal about these things.
There have been arguments about the width of text boxes and in pixels as well. But essentially, it is, at the moment, I think we're over 1,500 detailers.
1,600 now.
1,600 odd. We've got a whole load of detailing shops as well, and you can organise, for example, if you're looking for a particular brand, you can put that in and it'll tell you which shops supply that brand. And you can even cross-link, I believe. So I need a shop that does brand X and brand Y, and it'll tell you where's there. So
and filter by walk-in and online shop as well.
That's quite cool too. And the good news is it is entirely free for a basic profile if you're a detailer or if you're a detailing shop. We've uploaded loads manually and gone through and got that kind of cooking, and we've got quite a few people are signing up now organically. It's kind of climbing the ranks on Google, but the plan is to create a kind of a one-stop shop to find detailers and valeters and shops near you doing what you want, and it's very much review based. So it's distinct from the likes of PVD in that you don't have to pass a test to get on it or anything like that, but you can still, it being review based, you literally say, right, this is where I am. I'm happy to travel, say, up to 20 miles, and I want to see the best review detailer in that region. And because, unlike kind of more generic directories, like the types of Yale.com and all the rest of it, we just do detailing, and we know the criteria, and we know kind of about the trade enough to be able to create a bespoke site that's actually really useful. And we're, as I say, we're putting the finishing touches to it. It's a bit clunky in places, but we are on it. So yeah, check it out. If you are a detailer, feel free to sign up, but check if you have already got a profile that needs claiming first, because a lot of people
just go in, search for your postcode, look in your area, see if your business is already there, and if it is, and the claim now button's there, then click it and claim it.
Yeah.
Same if you own a shop as well. We've got, I think there's about 70 odd shops on there so far. We're adding more to them every day. So do go on, have a look, see if your shop's already on there, claim it. We'll be putting some options in there for you to put out any offers and any sale bits on there.
You can select all the brands that you do. So I compile, I think it was a list, I think we're at 300 and something brands, ridiculous number of brands if you actually add it all up. So you can literally tick box all the ones that you supply. And if there are some on there that you supply that aren't on there, rather, let us know and we can add them in, and we do all the logos and everything so it looks cool. So yeah, that's quite a potent thing. And as I say, the shops, we've gone through most of the big shops and already kind of based on what brands they offer on their websites, updated that so it's useful. And it's ticking along. And there are certain things we're still sorting out, like at what point is a shop a detailing shop, and just as opposed to a normal shop that sells a couple of detailing bits on the side. So we're just working through that. But generally, auto factors and above, I think, is kind of where we're settled, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's if they stock any of the detailing brands that we've put on there.
Yeah. No, I mean, for example, we wouldn't have a large supermarket that happens to have a product X just sort of by the checkout.
No.
Because that doesn't really count. But at the same time,
if you're purposely looking for a bottle of Maguire's and there happens to be an auto factors near you that sells it that is on that list, then it will show up.
Indeed.
By searching for Maguire's under the brands list.
Indeed.
So that's detailerdirectory.com.
And .co.uk and just about everything. We have many URLs.
Yeah. You'll find it.
Linking to it. You will. It's already just do a detailer directory on Google, and we're top of the list for pretty much everyone.
And again, if you use that and you have any issues, anything you want to let us know about that, there's a contact form on there. Do let us know, because we want it to be a really useful site for everyone.
Yeah, bit of a resource.
And someone else gets that email, so I don't mind. I'm just going to delete all my emails this year. I don't need them. No reason for anyone to get in contact with me.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there should be a reason. I mean, like for your updates for your Tesla.
Yeah, that's in the garage at the moment. They've been conspicuously quiet.
So what's wrong with your Tesla?
There's something knocking on the front suspension or stroke steering rack.
I get knocking on from the front
but
of my car.
To be fair,
different sort of knocking.
Being a Tesla, it could just be they forgot to do up a bolt. Yeah. There are stories of Teslas replacing front seats in vehicles 3 or 4 times over because they start rocking and all they need to do is put a bit of thread lock on.
Just remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So yeah, and my cars aren't actually working either. To be fair, of 6, I think 2 are roadworthy. So that plus ça change, as they say.
Did you sell the Fiesta?
No, I haven't sold the Fiesta yet.
I thought that's what you...
I was hoping to. Well, I was hoping to give it a polish and then get it listed online. But life has overtaken, and at the moment having a small van is useful. Although I want to get a bigger van. I miss my Astra power van. Regular readers will remember the power van from a long, long time ago. It's a 1.7 CDTI Astra that I remapped badly to the point where the engine would cut out anything over about 4,000 RPM and wait about 10 minutes before it would restart again due to common rail pressure overloads.
Which is great when you overtake sort of 3 or 4 cars on a country road and then have to pull over and watch them glide past you again, giving you stares.
Yes, that happened on the M4, in fact, racing Mercedes. And it's just a matter of, as long as they bail out the race before 103, obviously that wouldn't happen on the M4, before they bail out the race at 70 miles an hour.
Well, the Mercedes can go 103. You wouldn't go any faster than 77 miles an hour.
I could do 103 apparently, but yeah, anything more than that, it would just conk out, and then you end up with your hazards on in the hard shoulder of the autobahn. So yeah, that was fun. Okie dokie. Well, anyway, this minicast. How long is our minicast gone up to?
Oh, about 6 inches. Half an hour.
Half an hour. Okay, so we've kept it fairly.
We've rammed it on
control.
for long enough.
Yes. So yeah, no magazine this year, but there will be a book and cool.
And the magazine is coming back, so it's not stopping; it's just pausing.
It's a hiatus. Hiatus. I've got to learn how to spell that word before we start doing.
Or just start saying pausing.
There we go.
It's much easier.
Pausing. Yeah, I could missay that though. But anyway, thank you very much for listening, and we will be back with a proper podcast with guests and interesting stuff, hopefully, in the near future. It's goodbye from me,
and it's goodbye from me.